In 2022, Kylian Mbappe scored 8 goals across the tournament, including a hat-trick in the World Cup final. France still lost. While 2026 features a historically deep pool of superstars, the tournament's defining arcs are already tightening around just 3 specific names. For France, Norway, and Spain, these aren't merely marquee stars. They are the structural foundations of their national projects. Statistical analysis suggests that if any one of them is missing from the lineup, their respective nation's path to the trophy effectively disappears. One of them is also carrying a hidden physical risk into the opening rounds, a ticking time bomb in his leg that has an entire nation holding its breath. They are fighting against 3 different countdowns, one biological, one historical, and one intensely physical. In 2026, the most difficult opponent won't be found on the opposite side of the pitch. It will be the date on the calendar. For Kylian Mbappe, the clock is biological. At 27 years old, he has reached the absolute peak for a forward. This chart tracks his club performance leading up to the tournament. That spike represents 42 goals across a single season, the exact momentum a striker needs arriving at a World Cup. But the weight of the 2022 final creates a psychological hunger very few players ever experience. He has won multiple league titles and the Champions League, yet the biggest prize escaped him while he was playing the game of his life. France enters 2026 with a squad valued at $1.76 billion. Even with that immense supporting cast, their system requires Mbappe's singular killer instinct to secure victories. This is a rapidly closing biological window for the striker. To secure his status as an all-time great, he must capture the trophy while at the absolute height of his physical powers. Erling Haaland's reality is the exact opposite. He is a solitary force, carrying an underdog nation that hasn't appeared on this stage in decades. This timeline tracks Norway's absence from the World Cup. It stretches 28 years, a drought Haaland ended by hammering in 16 qualifying goals. But that was only the prologue. The draw locked Norway into a bracket alongside France, Senegal, and Iraq. Haaland himself acknowledges the math. He calculated Norway's statistical chance of winning the whole tournament at about 0.5%. His ticking clock is purely historical. To advance deep into the knockouts, he has to continually defy those mathematical odds and single-handedly outscore some of the most cohesive squads on the planet. Then there is Lamine Yamal. On the day of the 2026 World Cup final, he will be exactly 18 years and 6 days old. Despite his youth, Spain's entire tactical setup depends on him. As a left-footed player operating on the right wing, he forces defenders into impossible choices, using a level of spatial awareness that usually takes a decade to develop. But there is a catch. This anatomical model illustrates the Grade 2 hamstring tear Yamal suffered in April 2026. Physiology dictates that explosive acceleration is the absolute last capability to return. These fibers must handle immense downward force vectors to propel him. Yamal possesses an elite football IQ, but he requires that sudden burst of speed to execute his decisions. Without it, Spain loses their primary tactical advantage. He is actively racing a biological healing clock. The cells in his leg have to fully repair before Spain's opening match kicks off. Mbappe needs to erase the ghosts of 2022. Haaland has to beat a 99.5% probability of failure. Yamal is trying to outpace his own muscle fibers. The exact moment we learn the trajectory of this tournament happens early. Watch Lamine Yamal the very first time he receives the ball in space. If he hesitates before sprinting, Spain's campaign is in deep trouble. If he explodes off the line without thinking, their path to the final opens up immediately. Between the pressure of the past, the weight of the math, and the limits of the human body, which ticking clock will dictate the champion of 2026?